What's up, everyone? It's your boy Raji, and today we are going to be going over the 2026 UEFA Champions League bracket. We are into the knockout round, the last 16. The bracket is set. I'm going to be giving my predictions, mainly focusing on the round 16, but we're going to do the whole bracket, give up my predicted matchups, who I think is going to win it all, and yeah, we're going to see how accurate I am at the end. All right, first up, we've got Paris Saint-Germain versus Chelsea, rematch of the Club World Cup final from this past summer, where Chelsea shockingly won that. Last year PSG were easily the most dominant team in Europe, wasn't even close. Uh, this year, not as much dominance as they showed last year. However, Chelsea's got to be one of the most inconsistent clubs in football right now. Their team to me just hasn't gelled completely well, and Todd Bailey's kind of spent $1 billion, and you're still starting Alejandro Garnacho in matches, and João Pedro looks like the only guy that's really playing for them. Palmer's coming back from injury. They're going to need Cucurella there. But for me, this Chelsea squad, I don't think can match the raw talent of PSG. You've got, an attack where you're not even starting all of Doe, Kvara, Dembele, or Barcola. One of the best young midfields in the world. That's going to counteract that Chelsea team very easily. I think I've got PSG winning this 4-2 on aggregate and moving on to the quarterfinals. All right, next up, we've got Galatasaray versus Liverpool. I think this is going to be one of the most exciting matchups of the round of 16. Now, Liverpool have been nowhere near their level from last year. In fact, you would have thought going into the season they're going to be the best team in Europe with all the signings they made. Ekitike, Isak, Florian Wirtz, and Jeremy Frimpong from Leverkusen. You got Kirkes at left back as well. You thought this was going to be one of the best teams. Salah, that whole drama with him hasn't really helped the team a lot, but they've come into form recently. I say that they just lost to Wolves, but they have been playing a lot better recently. Salah has been doing a lot better as well. They're going to be needing to be firing on all cylinders, especially against this Galatasaray squad sitting atop of the Super League. Osimhen has been playing very well. They just came off a huge win against Juventus in the first knockout stage. So I think this is going to be very good. I think the key for Liverpool is going to be Dominique Szoboszlai. He has been their most important player all season long. He's going to have to step up again. My thing is, though, I think where Galatasaray will lose this is because playing away at Anfield in the second leg is going to be, it's one of the hardest things in Europe is to play at Anfield, especially in a second leg away. Galatasaray are going to have a huge first leg, and I think they will. But for me, I actually have this going to Liverpool 3-3 in a shootout. I have Liverpool winning. I think that second leg is going to be massive for them, and their key players, especially Szoboszlai, will step up for them. I've got Liverpool taking this matchup. We're into the second half of the Silver Path, and the classic rivalry that I think everyone was expecting, Real Madrid versus Manchester City. Thibaut Courtois said it best. They were just expecting to play each other. At this point, happens every year. But looks a little different. We'll start with Real Madrid. They look bad. I think bad is a great word to describe them. They look a team that is a mess. Now 4 points down in La Liga. As of recording this video, they actually almost just dropped more points today. Lucky Fede Valverde. But this team just looks like a mess. They're injury-ridden. Already no Jude Bellingham. Eder Militao gone, Dani Ceballos gone, Rodrigo ACL gone, Mbappe, as they said, his ligament is hanging on by a thread. I mean, this team is so injury-ridden. It's also a mess on the field. I mean, Trent still can't defend. Raul Asensio and Dean Huijsen have not really panned out the way they expected them to. And Vinny can't stop crying. The team is a mess, very ego-driven, no real sense of leadership. On the other hand, you look at Man City, who did not start the year they wanted to, but they've fought back. They've put themselves back in the title race, just dropped points to Forest. But, this team, it looks like this is a team that can beat this Madrid team. So much depth. Rodri is looking to be fully healthy, and he's playing great again. Semenyo and Guehi have been incredible additions. Guehi in the defensive end, Semenyo has been incredible on the attack, and you're pairing that with X factors like Doku, Foden, Cherki. You have any one of those three guys rotating in and off the bench, starting in the lineup, and then you've got, obviously Erling Haaland, and even an Omar Marmoush who doesn't even play that much anymore, but still, you have so many options, so much depth. Madrid does not have that right now, and Man City have been playing a lot better together. Like I said, Madrid looks like a team in disarray. It's a straight-up mess over there, and I don't think it's their year. I've got Man City winning this one. I've got it 5-3 going to Manchester City. All right, next up we have Bayern Munich versus Atalanta, and I can just come out and say I have this pretty convincingly going to Bayern Munich. I do not think Atalanta has the firepower to match this Bayern Munich lineup that is 11 points clear in Bundesliga. You've got a Harry Kane that's playing like he's in the form of his life. 40-plus goals in all competitions. You've got, when you have guys like Mikel Elise and Luis Diaz to complement him on the wings, even your you'd say role players are playing incredible, and Kimmich, Gnabry, Musiala is back. This team is too much for Atalanta to handle. I would say maybe their only worry is defense, but I do not think that Atalanta is going to be the team to rattle Upamecano and Ta. For me, this is a very easy win for Bayern Munich, 6-0 on aggregate is what I have it going to Bayern Munich. All right, into the blue path, we have Barcelona versus Newcastle. St. James Park is one of the scariest places to play in the Champions League. And I think that's about all Barcelona has to be worried about. First leg away for Barcelona at St. James Park. Newcastle is going to have to put out an incredible performance there, and maybe they do, but they are no match for this Barcelona team, in my opinion. Newcastle have been having an up and down year, very lackluster outside the top 10 in the Prem right now. And to be honest, I don't think that Anthony Gordon and Joe Linton and Sandro Tonali and Harvey Barnes are going to be enough to beat the La Masia boys. I think Lamine Yamal and Rafinha are going to have a day, 2 days maybe, against Lewis Hall and Kieran Trippier. I don't think the Newcastle team is enough for this Barca super young power, I would say. Their talent is off the charts. Pedri is going to run circles around that midfield. And to be honest, I don't think Newcastle has the offensive firepower to really threaten that Barca high line. I think this is going to be relatively easy for Hansi Flick. Maybe they go in with a draw into the second leg. St. James is going to be a very electric atmosphere in that first leg, but I think Barcelona will handle business in the second leg. I've got this 5-2 to Barcelona. All right, next up we have Atletico Madrid versus Tottenham. I don't even understand how Tottenham has the home field advantage here. This team is 1 point out of relegation in the Premier League and somehow qualified in the top 8 for the knockout rounds for the UCL. Just insanely random. It kind of describes their team. Insanely random. Their top scorer is Richarlison, who, don't get me wrong, I love Richarlison, but the Champions League squad from the Big Six, it's pretty crazy. Their team looks like it was pulled out of like a gold pack in FIFA and they just threw it out there. I had to look. Kolo Muani, Xavi Simons, Conor Gallagher. This team is just random. It's very random. Very random. Van de Ven, I don't even... The team is so random, I don't understand how they are even in the spot in the first place. They're terrible. Atletico Madrid, very close win against Barcelona in that Copa del Rey, but I really only think they need 1 or 2 goals here. Maybe Julian Alvarez or Sorloth to do something. They really don't need much here. I think they score 1 or 2 goals, and Simeone is going to park the bus for the entirety of either the first and the second leg. Who knows? I really don't think Atletico Madrid needs much to beat this Tottenham team. I've got Atletico winning it 2-0. Next up, we have Boda Glimt versus Sporting CP in what I think is going to be the most exciting matchup of the round of 16. First off, let's look at Boda Glimt, the Cinderella team, and what a Cinderella run that they have been on. Absolutely incredible. Drawing Dortmund and then beating City, beating Atletico, knocking out Inter in the first round of the playoffs. This is a team from Norway. I don't think a single soul thought that they were going to be competing in a round of 16 matchup. And a great draw for them against Sporting CP, but let's not give Sporting too much, discredit them too much. They've been incredible as well as of late, winning 10 of their last 11 as of this recording, beating PSG in the process in the Champions League. And yeah, the Luis Suarez and Trincao have been very good for them. It's going to be a very exciting matchup, but give me a Cinderella run. Give me a Cinderella story, right? There usually is in the Champions League. I'm going to be backing Boda Glimt here. I think they win this. I think it could be a shootout in both legs. I've got Boda winning it 6-5 in extra time. Let the Cinderella run continue. And for the final matchup in the round of 16, we have Bayern Leverkusen versus Arsenal. And this is Arsenal's best chance at a UCL final that we've seen in years. I mean, they could not have asked for a better draw. Drawing a Leverkusen who could cause some problems maybe. They did beat City, but Manchester City. But this is a pretty mediocre team overall. Haven't been very special in Bundesliga. Haven't been all that special in the Champions League as well. Meanwhile, Arsenal have been on cruise control in this competition. 8 for 8, 8-0 in the round robin group stage play. Set Piece FC, yeah, they've been on fire, sitting atop of the Premier League now. I can't really see Leverkusen putting up too much of a fight. Should be an easy 2 legs here for Arsenal. I've got it 4-0 to Arsenal in this matchup, round of 16. All right, that's it for the round of 16. Those are the definite matchups and my thought process and what I think is going to happen in those games. But I'm going to quickly breeze through the rest of my bracket here, give the full predictions, and, I might have to make another video after the before the quarterfinals if my round of 16 predictions weren't that great, but who knows, maybe I'll be 100% correct and we can video can roll over. But yeah, we're going to breeze through the rest of the bracket here and take a look at some of the possible matchups if my bracket is correct. All right, for my bracket then, in the quarterfinals for the first matchup, I have PSG versus Liverpool. It would be a rematch of last year's UCL round of 16. And again, Liverpool will have the second leg advantage at home. But I still got PSG winning this. I think Nuno Mensch and Hakimi are just the best combo on the best wing-back combos in the world right now. And I think they pretty easily shut down whoever Liverpool throws out there, whether that be Salah or Gakpo. That wings will be shut down. And that Enrique press, when you've got front 6 of Vitinha, John Neves, Fabian Ruiz, Barcola, Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, Doué, that press is, I think, going to haunt Liverpool again. It's going to be close, though. I think Liverpool will be coming for revenge. That second leg is going to be epic. If it happens, I would have PSG winning 3-2 in extra time. All right, the next matchup in the quarterfinal would be Manchester City versus Bayern Munich in my bracket. And I really do believe it's Harry Kane's year. I think the team that Bayern Munich has put around Harry Kane, this is his best chance at a UCL in a while. This could be a Ballon d'Or showdown if it happens. Harry Kane versus Erling Haaland, arguably the 2 best strikers in the world. But I really do think it's Harry Kane's year. And if it comes down to it, I think that Luis Diaz and Mikel Olise will have a great time against, especially if it's Ait Nouri and Matheus Nunes for Manchester City. I think Bayern's team overall is just a well-oiled machine that can beat the City squad. And I would have it Bayern Munich winning 3-1. The third matchup in this quarterfinal for my bracket would be Barcelona versus Atletico Madrid in what could be the culmination of this rivalry this season. Like I mentioned earlier, they just had a thriller in the Copa del Rey. Atletico taking the first leg 4-0, and then Barcelona almost completing the remontada, falling just short 4-3. Atletico just moved on. A thriller. And I could possibly see more of the same here. Logistically, you'd think that this Barcelona squad and their young superstars, Yamal, Rafinha, Pedri, Kubarsi, guys like Marcus Rashford, this team should be able to take Atletico Madrid pretty easily. But man, it seems like a tradition that Diego Simeone and this Atletico squad find a way to lose in the most heartbreaking fashion every single Champions League knockout stage. I could see that happening again. The Barca highline. Barcelona, this team, I think the story of this team is that they can get burned, but man, can they catch fire. I think that could be what we see again, maybe a similar what happened in the Copa del Rey. I could see this being a 4-4, 5-4 affair, Barcelona winning an extra time or a shootout. But yes, I do have Barcelona moving on. I think they are going to take a lot from what they learned in that loss to Inter Milan last year, taking it into these later stages of the Champions League. I've got Barcelona moving on against Atletico Madrid. Finally, for this quarterfinals, I have Boda Glimt versus Arsenal, and I think Arsenal end the Cinderella run here for Bodo Glimt. Arsenal is just too sound defensively for this Norwegian team. I mean, especially if Gabriel and Saliba are at full strength and you've got a guy like Declan Rice running the midfield. I don't see how Bodo Glimt are going to put up that much of a fight against this Arsenal squad, Set Piece FC. I think they're going to be able to take down the business and really capitalize on this chance to make a run at the UCL. I've got Arsenal winning this one 4-2. All right, if my bracket pans out for the first semifinal matchup, I'd have PSG going up against Bayern Munich, and I think that could be one of the best matchups on paper that we could get this year, maybe even in recent years. Very evenly matched. PSG won the Club World Cup quarterfinal 2-0 over the summer, but Bayern Munich took the UCL matchup earlier this season. And when you look up the matchups that we're going to get if this happens on paper, it's lining up to be a thriller of a two legs. You've got, Hakimi and Nuno Mensch going up against Luis Diaz and Mikel Olise. You got one of the best strikers in the world, Harry Kane, going up against one of the best center back combos in the world, Pato and Marquinhos. That PSG midfield, the young talent going up against the experience of Joshua Kimmich. And then you have, obviously, that insane French attack, Doe, Dembele, Barcola, and, obviously Kvaratskhelia as well, going against, one of the best goaltenders of all time, Neuer, Ta and Upamecano, who have done their job. I think this could be lining up to be a thrilling matchup if it happens. I really hope it does, but the theme of this video, it's Harry Kane's year. I really do believe it. Maybe for UCL, maybe for a Ballon d'Or, maybe for a World Cup. I think Bayern Munich get this done 3-2. And for my other semifinal matchup, I have Barcelona versus Arsenal. I think this could be one of the most exciting four teams in the semifinals and one of the most exciting two matchups in the semifinals that we have seen in UCL history if this happens. But this would be such a fun matchup. The Hansi Flick high line going up against Mikel Arteta's Set Piece FC. That would be a matchup for the ages. I think ultimately, though, that Lamine Yamal and Rafinha will be too much to handle for this Arsenal squad, especially if it goes the distance, maybe even into extra time. I think that what Barcelona and especially Lamine and Rafinha learned in their loss to Inter Milan in the UCL semifinals last year, I think they'll be able to take a lot of that experience and put that to good use against Arsenal. It'll definitely be a close matchup. Arsenal's defense is very good. Their midfield very good. Their attack very good. When you have guys like Eze, Odegaard, Saka, Viktor Gyökeres, it's a very balanced squad over at Arsenal. But I think Barcelona will take what they've learned and be able to apply that in the latter stages against Arsenal. I've got Barcelona winning this maybe 4-3 in extra time. All right, and for my final, I would have Bayern Munich going up against Barcelona in Budapest. I honestly think this would be one of the best matchups that we could get out of this UCL draw, and I think you guys know who I'm picking to win this. I think it's Harry Kane's year. I think this Bayern team is gelling so well together. They're playing so well around him. Harry Kane's having one of the best years he's ever had, a historic year, and I think this is his best chance at a UEFA Champions League title, for glory, at a Ballon d'Or, to cement himself as one of the best strikers of all time, going up against, of course, Lamine Yamal, considered one of the best players in the world. Rafinha, who just fell short of the Ballon d'Or. La Masia's crew. I think this would be an incredible matchup. But I do believe that Harry Kane and the Bayern Munich squad can bring it home and bring home a UCL in Budapest. Bayern Munich is my 2026 Champions League winners. All right, that is my prediction for the UEFA Champions League knockout draw for 2026. Mainly focusing on the round of 16 here, but I figured I'd just give out my entire bracket in case I go 100%. Maybe have to make a video after the round of 16 for the quarterfinals and break down those matchups that once they are set in stone. But for now, this is what we've got. Let me know who you think is going to win below. Give me your predictions for the round of 16. And yeah, I've got Bayern Munich winning my whole thing. Thank you guys for watching the year of Harry Kane. It's his year, man.